I think we're good sound-wise. I can start the show. Welcome, everybody, to the Overthinking Football Show. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. And then also Monday to Wednesday, I'm back in the evenings at 8 p.m. So be sure to watch the show. I'm your host, George Mokwena. And if you do, if you're listening on Facebook or you're on YouTube and you've seen the different episodes, you are able to see them all in full. On Facebook and YouTube. And if you're listening and you're wondering where do the voices from my panels come from, you have to join me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok, and then there comes a time when I'll tell you that I'm opening up the lines and you'll be able to request, jump in, and we can have a quick chat about whatever discussion we're having on that day. So today we're going to speak about the battle for the PSL soul. I want to be a little bit more dramatic. The battle for PSL, and I say it like this: tomorrow's league matchup, Pirates and Sundowns, is going to determine whether one, we can believe that Sundowns is going to be beaten, and two, whether Sundowns will run away with it. I think it's a very important match between these two teams. That the two informed teams coming up against each other. The one that has been dominating for 7 years now in the league. The other one that is arguably the other most informed team at the current moment. So it's going to be a battle to see what's going to happen. And the cool thing about when we have matches like these is that they tend to have press conferences for these matches. Shout out to Idiski fans on Facebook, on YouTube. Let's have a listen to what the two coaches had to say in the run-up to this match.
Coach, thank you for making time, and Salusa.
Thanks, Shippy, for having us.
Yeah, I'll throw to you members of the media for the coaches just spoken about the preparations for the upcoming match. And it's Pirates and also just going to Soweto or facing the teams from South. Thank you.
Thanks, Shippy. Thanks very much for the warm introduction. Good afternoon to members of the media. This is the one press conference that I probably would love to skip, but for sure I think for the football fans, for the football club, especially Mamelodi Sundowns, and also because we are in that space where ours is to generate conversations and lead in relation to what football is about in this country. I think it's important. So exciting week, exciting preparations, and we're looking forward to playing against a very good Orlando Pirates side.
Can we get by show of hands questions from the floor? TT, and who's next? One after TT. Anyone else? Now you can set up while you're getting the hands. We are trying to buy time.
What's your birthday?
No. The brother. TT. It's the brother. Yeah.
I remember there's a birthday.
So if you can allow me to take it a little bit back.
Sure.
So it will be yourself, Mazola, then check.
Yes.
I'll just find time for another to set up. But you can watch.
Looking into the Champions League, I mean, you went and gave them a 4-0 away. If you can just take us back into that, looking into the match that you played, Champions League, scoring so many goals, and the pressure that comes with playing two matches back-to-back with Soweto teams, one being the league and one being the MTN8. How do you then focus on each one of these, looking at the strengths that you have?
Yeah, on the Champions League match, I was really very, and I say this because, and I always say to you guys, before I share my feelings with the media and the public, I always share my feelings with my players. they need to know my feelings first before anyone else. And I can say to you that I was very, very impressed with the performance. I thought the application was very, very good. Some of the football that was played made me very, very emotional, in fact. And I shared a story with the players, but I'm not going to share that with you. But the performance under the circumstances on an artificial pitch, in that type of heat, against a very robust and very physical team with some very good players, like knowing that you have to deal with a striker like Valentin, for an example, or Eldinho in the midfield, who's creative and aggressive with the dribbles and the shots outside the box. It was a very difficult game and a difficult match to play as well as we played, but fortunately we had very good support from the Tanzanian people, and that gave us some very good confidence and motivation. But my only disappointment is that we didn't score more. The players know that I feel that we should have scored more, and I only say that because we created so many. I mean, there's a chance I was speaking about even today, if you remember, where they were inside the box, the players, and they were just passing to each other, and I mean 4 players could have taken the shot to score, and each one said, no, you shoot, no, you shoot, no, you shoot. And we overpassed, and eventually the chance was gone. So that was my only disappointment, but very proud of this group of players, very proud of their mentality, and it leads me to how do we prepare for these games. I don't have a lot of work to do, to tell you the truth, except to make sure that psychologically they understand the meaning of what it means to play the next fixture. And then rely on their experience, because I am fortunate enough that I've got some very, very good human beings who happen to be very good football players, and who happen to be very experienced in understanding how to tackle a difficult program. And the most important thing is to play well every single match, but take it one game at a time. But that also means prepare well and train well, and make sure that you give your best every single day at training. At Sundowns, unfortunately, you can't afford a day off, So this is the mentality that the group possesses, and this is the mentality that the group demonstrates. And to be honest with you, that has very little to do with me.
Okay. I'm going to leave it there. Let's hear. I'm going to leave it there. Let's hear what Jose had to say. Just in the lead up to this.
Coach Benjamin, Mamelodi Sundowns, who have not lost a game this season, and they are sitting on number 1. And looking at the team sheet that we saw yesterday from Motaung, it was like more or less like, I would call it a rotation, though you don't like using that word. But how important was it resting some of the players yesterday going into this game?
Good morning, and apologies for the delay. After the break, we look at the schedule, knowing that we must play from Sunday to Sunday 3 very important games for us in 3 different competitions, and 3 different competitions where we want to perform in our best, and that's our concern. That's all. And obviously, we knew that we playing on Sunday yesterday in Botswana. We have 2 days to prepare the game, and look, we have a press conference before the game, so it looks that the game it's something important for whatever reason. So we want to be prepared for the 3-1s and as good as possible. But let's again don't talk about rotations, because it's not a rotation. We try to go to the games with the guarantee that we can compete as good as possible, and yeah, that's all. I think yesterday we didn't get the result that we were looking for, obviously, but it's only the first half of the game, and now we have to focus in the next one. It's going to be a very exciting game for us, and for sure everybody's going to be ready on Wednesday.
Komphela, YFM coach, first thing, happy belated birthday.
And thank you.
Unfortunately, that the players did not give you a present yesterday with the victory.
I know.
But coach, what would you say positive and negative effects of the FIFA break? Because I'm looking at, you had 6 players out for national duty.
I think I'm going to leave it there.
Looking at the turnaround, having to come back and prepare for yesterday's game, and now all of a sudden now have to prepare for the encounter on Wednesday against Sundowns.
Again, the schedule is what it is, and part of our job as a coaches is to deal with the schedule as good as possible from the strategic perspective, and utilize our resources as good as possible, and using our players as good as possible. Everybody knows the schedule in advance, even though there's adjustments during the process, during the season. Our players are extremely proud to play for the national team and represent the national team in every occasion they can, and they did it again in a fantastic way, and make us feel proud of that. So every time they go into the breaks and we have 5-6 players representing South Africa or every other nation, it makes us feel very proud of that. And the way they did it this time, the professional way that they did it, it's something very special for us. They came back in a good form, in a good fit, motivated and ready to compete for us now in the upcoming matches, like they did yesterday. You have one example here, and we try to, or our players try to do their best everywhere and whenever they are called. So, like I said, it's part of our job to use the schedule as good as possible and utilize our resources as good as possible in our plans. And let's see how it goes.
Okay. I just wanted to give a little bit of the words of the coaches. Then we are just a little bit of the word from the coaches. Then we are back. Listen, guys, let's speak about this upcoming match. Like I said, this is a very important match, and it's a very important match because I think it speaks to whether Sundowns can be beaten and whether Pirates is good enough to beat Sundowns, if that makes sense. Unfortunately, in our league, really, there's only Pirates that is chasing Sundowns, honestly, and can take on Sundowns in that way, currently on form, right? So this becomes a very important match for that. And it's a very important match also because there's some questions that are going to be asked. You know, we spoke about Pirates and Pirates' attack and how Pirates is so good. Now they're going to play against a team that's equally, if not better placed to attack them. Sundowns has played against teams that are going to sit back most of the time, teams that are not going to necessarily want to play this game, want to take part in the game. But now Sundowns is finally coming up against a team with the likes of Lepasa, with the likes of Abu Saleh. So I think this is well and truly one of the few times in the league that Rulani is going to be asked questions. And it's also one of a few times where Pirates will get a chance to prove Are they worthy of playing Sundowns? Are they worthy of beating Sundowns? Could they close that gap? Remember, the gap in the previous season was 16 points. The gap before that was 16 points, 13 points before that. But last season, Pirates did manage to win those 2 trophies. So this is going to be a real test. It might be the most, not the biggest game in the country, but it's one of the most important games in the country. So we'll have a conversation around that and what that actually means for the league and how they're going to take each other on in this regard. There's also other things that you have to take into account. It's playing at Orlando. They're playing after coming from the Champions League. Pirates fielded pretty much, I want to say, a B team. It doesn't like rotating, but I want to say a B team was fielded in the Champions League qualifiers. Now he's going to go play against the Sundowns, then go play again on the weekend. It's versus... Why am I blanking? But yeah, they're going to go play that. Sundowns, same thing. They went to the Champions League this weekend. They came in versus, they're going to come in versus Paris tomorrow. They're going to go play Chiefs on Saturday. I know you guys don't like it when I say Chiefs, but yeah, it's part of the thing. So I'm going to open up the lines now. Please remember that you have to be following me on Facebook, on TikTok, and join me on TikTok. Then you can jump in and we can have a conversation about what we're going to expect from this match going forward, which is the biggest game in the country. Unfortunately, still the derby. Unfortunately, for those who are asking, I saw a question there on Facebook. So, guys, the request, and what I'll do is I will rotate the panels according to how many people request, and then we can have these conversations and more. Agent 007, how are you, my brother?
I'm good, bro. I enjoyed last night's show, but you know the person. I had to go, man. But it was a nice show. I wanted to grill the agent a bit, But I think he confirmed what you all know. Safa is a mafia game.
Yeah, bro.
Hey guys, please
What's
mute.
going on?
Please mute.
I'm
please
hearing my
mute.
echo.
Are we good now?
Yeah. Safa is a mafia state. I think he just confirmed what you all know. But anyways, we are here now. Let's talk about the big guns.
What are
But
your thoughts? What are
I
your
don't
thoughts
know.
going into this game?
Before my thoughts, I mean, shouldn't, because this thing is the stars derby. Shouldn't teams start a star logout? But anyways, let's talk about the game. No, but I think it's an interesting game. How to beat Sundowns is easy. Sundowns' weaknesses is Pirates' strength.
First, just confirm, Akere, you are a Sundowns fan because the comments are gonna do other things. So before we start, you're a Sundowns fan.
Yes, I'm a Sundowns fan. I'm a Sundowns fan. A loyal Sundowns fan. They should watch the Idols. People they want to be when they grow up. But going into the game, I think coaches. I think this is, for me, the best 2 coaches currently in the league right now. One is the media darling. Coach Jose, not Mourinho, Rivero. Is the media darling, and Coach Rulani, who is not so much the media darling, because he doesn't like a certain team, and so but it's okay, and I sometimes look at the coaches and say, coach, what is the coach? Coach Jose is gracious, very gracious in defeat, but once he loses, he becomes a pain in an ass. He's not the most humble person in defeat. She doesn't take defeat well, but I think that's a good thing because that's a mark of a champion. But I think he just loses it when he loses. I think I complained about him the way he addressed a female journalist after he lost to Stelis, and I saw the same kind of cocky and arrogance himself in the press conference in Botswana after he lost. But it was a rotated squad. He had one eye on the game. it is not wrong to rotate. You have 22 players for a reason, so you must rotate, so I think there's nothing wrong with that. But generally, I think it's going to be a good game. I think when you come up the second round, then you can see. He's very good. This coach, but it's going to be an interesting game. We'll see how it goes, but I think it's important for Pirates more than Sundowns,
Okay.
because we win, we further extend our lead. And if we lose, I don't think we have to beat Pirates to win the league, because Pirates is very inconsistent. For my liking, that's why I nicknamed them a cup team. They want to challenge Sundowns for cups, yes, but for the league, no. Because against other smaller sides, the sides that Sundowns easily beats, they kind of get draws and loses because they struggle against the low block. So I think it's more important for Pirates than for Sundowns this game. Yeah.
Okay. Zesha, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
So, OT, sabunzani futhi?
No, right, Puti. Before style, Melusho Futi, state your team, ngoba ngiyazi ama-comments.
Mina ngikhosi, Khosi for life.
So, tell, what are your general thoughts about the game, Pirates and the Sundowns tomorrow?
Think lesizoyibuza ukuthi pound for pound, one of those. It's going to be a great test, a good test for Rulani. Ukuthi sibone ukuthi vele he is truly going to be a champions kule league le and maybe take ama cups. I think here it test amampela ezoyenza ukuthi akhiphe yonke into anayo. Njengoba mengisho khona ngengasho before ukuthi i-Sundowns kumele you must, if ufuna ukuya nayo pound to pound, I think kumarket you should uqine kumarket and then uqine ku-coaching, uqine kuyonke into. So I think i-Pirates is capable of, I'm not saying ukuthi izowina, but I think it's capable of handling i-pressure ezoza nge-Sundowns ngoba I think they play a similar style of football, just that ukuthi i-Pirates is a bit quicker and stuff. So I think it's going to be a great game after all, and a good test for both of the coaches, if I may say. So yeah, that's what I think about tomorrow's game.
Okay. Ndlela, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Hola uthi ngibingelele nepanel.
Ngitshela ucabangani ngale match ngoba ngiyazi ulikhosi nami, but cabangani ngale match Sundowns the Pirates.
The underdog coming to this match is the Pirates. The Pirates have a 7-match losing streak to Orlando Pirates in the league. I'm not saying MTN8 in the league. So the Pirates lose 7 Landelana to Sundowns in the league. So this is a match for the Pirates to prove themselves. Yes, they are ready for the Sundowns, because for Sundowns, it's easy to beat the Pirates. We saw it like over the years. They might have won last season MTN8, but after MTN8 they lost again to Sundowns, especially this year February they lost 1-0. So this is a test for Orlando Pirates. This is the test for Joseph Vieiro. As for Rulani Mokwena, I think Rulani Mokwena uphethe everything under control coming to this game. Yeah, he might underestimate the Pirates, but this is a test for the Pirates to show i-Sundowns ukuthi bangayishaya. Because if i-Pirates angeke ishaya i-Sundowns the match yakusasa, then i-Pirates izoba nenkinga when it comes to challenging for the league. Because this is the match that is going to determine ukuthi i-Pirates, are they really the real deal? Are they gonna challenge for the league? Because it seems like dominant Sundowns is gonna continue over a Pirates. So it's for a Pirates to stop Sundowns dominating them. Like they're always losing against Sundowns. They might have won against M28, but that was a cup competition. But coming to league, Pirates kwamele shy Sundowns, because this is their destiny. They have to beat Sundowns. Because if Sundowns are shy, they will have a problem going forward. Bazoba nenkinga. Although the Pirates, they might have lost 1-0 to each one Galaxy of Botswana, but that is the competition ye cap. Coming to e-league, Pirates really need to show Sundowns good born number one. Because if they don't, because Pirates, they are the second team that can match Sundowns when it comes to equality of our signings and equality of our players. Because the Pirates, they have too much of our creative players, they have our goal scorers. Ulipasa is on form. They have Abu Saling. Saling now is still there. They have Umswanga. What is signing for a Pirate? So a Pirate can match Sundowns when it comes to Ama signing and equality. So this is a test for a Pirate. A Pirate need to beat a Sundowns. If Sundowns that doesn't need to beat a Pirate, but the Pirates needs to beat a Sundowns. Yes.
Okay. Cool Prince, welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing?
Wala kama jani nugget.
No, Hambagathi. Tell me, what do you think of this? What are your general thoughts about this game? Yes, Sundowns, the Pirates.
I think Pirates, if ito dlala kahle ingayiwina le match lena, because Rulani is not someone who's used to ukuthi bantu bam attack. He always attacks, and then akuniketele ukuthi wena udefend kuphela. So if Pirates will go in the match but attack, then lo mjitelo ya umuntu lo phangise aluse ifocus if anga like bangam attack yabo. So I think if the Pirates don't have any star players attack Sundowns, then they have a chance of winning this match. And I try attack and it's not someone who try tough matches like South Africa so yabusa all around. So I think if the Pirates don't get attack, then they can win this match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Agent, I want to come back to you. Now, before speaking about the match, I want to speak about the two teams where they are currently. How do you feel about your Sundowns team currently as it stands? Do you think that everything is going well? You know, there's a joke where people say that Sundowns is beatable, but they're unbeaten up to this point. Do you think that your team is in a good place?
No, not really.
Okay.
It's the system, the chameleon. I think maybe, like I say, maybe we're going to go around, we'll talk about the match and how to beat Sundowns and Pirates. You know, the chameleon is very, very specific weak points, you know, and is the kind of weak points that we would expect a Pirates kind of team to exploit with pace on our defense, you know. So I think the chameleon against Pirates would be a very big mistake by Coach Rulani, you know. But I know he's stubborn, you know. But I think it's, you know, Barcelona. Let me take Barcelona for example. You know, Barcelona is going through a tough time, you know. It's going through a tough time, but they just beat you in history, you know. I think we just have that aura about us now that, you know what, when you go into a game, already the opposite team is shaky, you know. Even if there's nothing to shake about, it's also already shaky, you know. And combine that with individual brilliance that the team has, combine that with, don't make a mistake about it, Coach Rulani, Coach Mangoba, good coaches. So combine all those things, you can say, well, Sundowns is in a good space, you know, because they're getting the results at the end of the day. But when you take a microscope and look deep, you're saying, not really, you know. I think the chameleon is still suspect. We still haven't found a Zwane replacement. Without Zwane, we look so lost, you know. We thought Allende could maybe fill in that role, but I don't think he has that brain of Zwane. So yeah. And the other team, I think Pirates is progressing well. I think that the process is going well, you know. I think this is what you call the make or break season for Pirates, because they're competing on all fronts and they're no longer the closed book which they were last season, you know. So it would be interesting that let's say they get past running Galaxy, they get on the group stages of CAF. I don't think you'd be using those B team that he used in Botswana, you know. So it will be see, because he's saying he doesn't rotate that much, how he's able to adapt that, because we've seen Sundowns have built resistance to CAF for a very long time, But other teams, you look at Vets after going to CAF, what happens? SuperSport after going to CAF, what happens? Chiefs when they go to CAF, what happens next season? You look at Galant relegated, So CAF takes a toll on you, So you must manage that. So I want to see how coach manages that and what will happen next season, But I think they will win 1 or 2 cups again because they're progressing well. Yeah.
Okay, so do you think that this game is a bit, how do I put it, early for it to be an important match for either team, or as important of a match for either team?
I think it is very important for for both teams for different reasons. I think it's important for Sundowns because we beat Pirates. It's a statement out there because Pirates are the second best team. We are saying to you guys, who can beat us? Your so-called challengers are challenging us. And I think that on itself, is going to affect the rest of the league mentally. Mentally, already the teams are feeling they're mentally incapacitated by Sundowns. So we beat Pirates as a statement that guys, this is us. We're still in charge. We're in control, like Menbi would say. We're in charge. For Pirates, it's important because you lose this game, you lose further ground on Sundowns. And we know Sundowns by the end of that. I think the aim is by the end of the year they want to have won the league already. Okay. So right now, with 2 games in hand, and 2 games in hand doesn't mean points in hand. We are leading them with like 11 points. We win now, it makes 14 points with 2 games in hand. So even if you win those, you find that you are 8 points behind. And against Sundowns, this is not just any ordinary team. Against Sundowns, it's too early to be 8 points behind. So I think for Pirates, if they lose there, they want to be demoralized, and I don't think they will ever catch Sundowns because for the past 3 seasons, I think Sundowns, when it matters, I don't think they've lost more than 5 games. So it will be a tough call to say Sundowns will lose 3 games in a season. So I think it will be done for them. Yeah.
Zesho, how are the teams so far? When you look at Sundowns and Pirates, before we get into what the game is going to be tomorrow, up to this season, up to this point, can Sundowns be happy with what they have? Can Pirates be happy with what they have? What do you think of that? Where are these teams right now?
I think first of all, Sundowns will be happy where they stand, Lapago number 1, because they've been winning and not losing or drawing games. So I think that motivates them even to not lose this game, though the game for Bona. Even though they can drop these 3 points, I don't think it can do such damage to them. Maybe Babo number 2, Babo number 3. And Pirates, I think I think for me they are not in a great position because anytime they might drop, because I think njengoba mekashilo ubhuti ukuthi ama games in hand awasho ukuthi uzowina. So the Pirates for mina, like into engiwarishayo, they do play a good football, but they abekho consistency ayikho lapha ku Pirates. So I think lento leyo ukuthi bangabe izobadropa kancane. So for Sundowns it's not important for njengoba ngisho ukuthi bayiwine le game because they've I mean khumbula baze bajumpa Kaizer bahlale ku number 1, like they've been through those pressures ukuthi no, like I see pressure for bona this coming game urevero, like yena vele njengoba mekashilo uidlele ukuthi kumele bawine, like yibo kumele bawine, yibo kumele bacabange ngale game ukuthi they must take it to Sundowns and compete, banikeze Sundowns the competition ukuthi at least nabo bazokhona ukuthi ba maintain i-position yabo, i-Sundowns ingavuli igap kakhulu ukuthi maybe igcine sebashiya nga 15 points as vele mengisho ukuthi Sundowns on they are not even thinking about we need these 3 points, no, I think need these 3 points, they are like desperate, because if they do let this one go, I think iligi izophela kusasa if Sundowns yawina nje kusasa, because I don't think akhona amanye ama team ngaphandle we-Pirates kakhulu ngoba like iphethe quality, iphethe njengoba mengisho vele bona ba-right, even nabaqeqeshi bakhona ba-right, yibo abantu abangenikeza i-Sundowns i-competition ukuthi at least even if ithatha i-Sundowns i-league, at least ithathe with a point or 2 points. Other than amanye ama-team, I doubt ukuthi like they can give i-Sundowns i-hard time ukuthi ingathathi i-league kalula.
Okay. Ndlela, at the current moment, what do you think these teams, should they be happy where they are? Should Sundowns be fine? Should Pirates be fine? What do you think of how they've performed up to this point?
You know, unlike Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates have suffered the most from Mamelodi Sundowns. So coming into this match, Sundowns, Basefoming, I mean, they have six match winning streak. So Sundowns is the informed team right now in South Africa, and Orlando Pirates is Ilapo number 2 in terms of scoring goals. Because Pirates, they have been scoring left and right. Even if they lose, maybe by losing 1-0, we saw it against Stellenbosch. They lost 1-0, and Ichwaneng Galaxy. That's my problem. Ilo 1-0. So what will happen if Sundowns scores 1 goal or 2 goals? The Pirates, they don't have that thing whenever they are down to come back and equalize and maybe win. So if Sundowns can score 2 goals, then the match will be over for Pirates. Because whenever they are down, they don't have that thing. I saw it against Stellenbosch and the match that they played in Ichwaneng Galaxy. So for Pirates to do, because of they have scorers. So Pirates have prolific scorers, if I can say. They have Ulipasa, and they also have Abumasong. I know. Nalomfana lo Saleng is there, Nalomfana lo Lebukhile. So coming to this match, both teams Basefoming. So we must say it's still early stages. It's still the matchup is 6 for your matchup is 7 for your Sundowns. The matchup is 5 for your Pirates, but it's never too early whenever there's a big match like Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. No matter they play the first match of the league, like opening day. But coming to this match, both teams Basefoming. So this is gonna be a cracker. This is gonna be a great game for both teams. Rulani, I know, is got something to say. I just listened to Joseph here now. We know, but tactically, I think both teams they are prepared tactically. So the only downfall can be is when we're gonna get it draw. So for this match, one of those teams they have to win. It's either Orlando Pirates or Sundowns. But I'm concerned in a Pirates because of the way Sundowns idlala corner. Seems like they don't want to stop winning. They don't want to stop winning. So for Sundowns, the way idlala corner, Orlando Pirates should be concerned. If Joseph is doing analysis, he should be looking for Abo Alende Kakuli. He should be more concerned about dominating in midfield the Sundowns. So that's the only way Sundowns, Pirates can. If they can dominate in midfield the Sundowns and catch them on the counter, because I saw Uchi, Ama defenders the Sundowns are slow. The Moroccan defender Upotwell is very slowly a defender.
Yeah.
And also Abor Lebukhil. So Ama defenders the Sundowns are not that quick, and also Nabokan Kekan are not that quick. So Pirates they need to capitalize counter cool playing against the Sundowns. They must not.
It's Zobuya for Ama tactics. It's actually the question I want to ask now. Agent 007, when we go into this match, I've always said about Sundowns that the reason why Sundowns basically waits for Champions League is because Champions League is basically the only place where they ask questions. And I feel Pirates is the only team that can ask questions of Sundowns. And I made the example that when you look at how Pirates is set up, when I go play Pirates, you have to think about Saleh. You have to think about Lepasa. You have to think about Masangwani, which is something that Sundowns doesn't necessarily get all the time. So coming into this match, what should the two approaches from the two teams be? Because Sundowns can play the chameleon, but now the chameleon works well, or it's nice and effective when they're playing against these low block teams or teams that are not going to go forward. So you find double AB, as Undlela has said, are not being tested, for example. Should they go, should they be a little bit cautious? Or should Pirates come in, and on the Pirates side, should Pirates come in and hit them and go pound for pound, because they're probably the only team in the league right now that could afford to do that? Or will they be hurt? What should the approaches for the two teams be tactically coming into this match?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting tactic, and I think Chiefs, Sundowns was a precursor for this, because I think in the first game, Udubri, and I don't know, it was a Dolly, whoever who was playing with Udubri, exposed the chameleon, and Rulani tweaked it in the second game, to counteract the speed of Udubri, So I think, and Umodi, I think it's gonna be the same kind of tactic to try and suppress Osaleng, But I think this is the most annoying part about Sundowns, that is everyone knows how to beat Sundowns, everyone knows Sundowns' weak points, but how you can exploit them and if you can go with the plan for 90 minutes, I think that's the big question, because I think with Sundowns, you stop Pozani, Sundowns stop playing, you stop Walende, which is the engine of the team, then you have killed Sundowns, because the passing lanes are from there, now you have a new dimension with the chameleon Ukotie, so Ukotie now is finding channels, he's inviting the pressure for you guys to come and press him, so that he can break the lines with his passes, So the way to approach Sundowns is, what you wanna do is you wanna pin your wingers on Obotwil and Motaung, so that they don't attack, and you have two schools of thought with Sundowns. The first school of thought is, I trust myself to break them. So you press them high, so you're always on Mvala's face, on Kotie's face, on Williams' face. And we saw that Williams passing is suspect. We know Mvala's passing is suspect, So what you do is you press certain traps for them, You don't allow the ball to go to Butuil, because in as much as he's low, his football IQ is very intelligent, He can talk about his defense, but in terms of footballing IQ, he's probably the best passer there at the back line. So Ubotuil, Ukotie, and Motaung, those are the best passers. So what you do is you try and avoid passes being made to them. You try and force passes to go to Williams or Mokwena, because those are the suspect ones, and that's where you'll get the ball from. Or you can say, I can't sustain the pressure of pressing Sundowns for 90 minutes. What I can do is do a half press. And if I do a half press, I'm saying after I cross the halfway line, that's when I press them. But that's why it's difficult with Sundowns, because you do that, then Sundowns has better football playing players in the middle of the park, Ozwani and Omaema and Urebero Malende. Those ones are technically good on. They like the pressure. They like a person being on them, So I think the best approach is, can you press Sundowns there up top at the defense, because that's where it's a bit weak, and do you have the strength and the conditioning to sustain that for 90 minutes? I think you saw against Chiefs, the first 10 minutes when you guys press Sundowns, we're making silly mistakes with our passes, and then you guys couldn't go with it for a long time, and that's where the space is open, So I think you press them, you close the passing lanes, and to close the passing lanes, you have to close Ozwani, because I think he's the master of breaking the lines, And you go to Buccaneers with Pirates. It's very simple. They love the grass. I call them the grass team, because they love grass. Where there is grass, that's where they do well. So what you do is you have to close grass. Don't make them have space. Because if they don't have space, Saling is not effective, Hoto is not effective. And then you're only left with the two problems of Omasangai and Omofiking. I hope we can play so that the game is interesting. Those are the two problems when there's no grass. But Saling is not effective, Hoto is not effective when he doesn't have space. So what you need to do is you want to make yourself as big as possible and not have space. And I think that's where the diamond comes in for me. I would have played the diamond because the diamond is like you are always having more players than you are, because 2-3 players can cover two positions at the same time, and that can prevent the effectiveness of Osaleng, And
what do you think of the base of midfield, Paris' midfield? We've spoken before that Undondlo is an 8, Munar is an 8, And if you are able to press them and bypass them, uXoki noSibisi always get into trouble. They never have fullbacks back. Do you think that that's something that Sundowns will look to exploit as well?
Yeah, I don't think the Pirates coach is going to be naive enough to play Omanari. I think team is fit. I think he has to play team. Or Makatlin. I think we are forgetting that Pirates is Makatlin Kaula, you know. I think he has to play one of them, either team or Makatlin Makaula, because you are going to you need a natural defensive midfielder to help the defense, because you are not defending against people, you're defending against movement, you know, and you can't track movement. Especially if you are an 8 natural, you don't have that defensive instinct. If your instinct is to attack, you are going to be in trouble. So I think he's going to play with team instead of Manare. And then I think team Rondo, they balance each other, you know. They can help each other there. And I think Omaswangai, that's where he becomes important, because I think Omaswangai or Mofokeng, one of them, I think he's going to play a bit of a free role, where he's going to be the one who makes things happen for Pirates. And I think what Sundowns would do is, I have a sneaky feeling that Mokwena is going to be following Mofokeng or Maswangai around. He's going to main mark one of them.
Okay. Interesting. Zesho, here are two teams. We know ukuthi iPirates iyateka. Siyazi ukuthi iPirates awona maphethe ibhola bafuna ukuya phambili. But now they're playing a team that can absorb that, but also nabo baya phambili. So aboXoki naboSibisi come under a little bit of pressure. It will come under a little bit of pressure from Sundowns and vice versa. How should Lama team approach the game tomorrow?
I think it's in Pirates. I think iPirates akumelanga inikeze iPirates iSundowns ispace at all, because when Sundowns even space esiningi yakhona ukulidlala and yakhona uku-exploita ama-passes, ivule nama-passage lapho nama-spaces ukuthi bakhona ukungena between nina. So I think iPirates may approach the Sundowns. I think they should also press them, because ama-defender awe Sundowns, I think they panic when you press them. You've seen banukupasa ama-opponent the likes of bona goalkeeper Sundowns nabo Mdawu lapha nabo Bolotela. Futhi iPirates mele isebenzise nespeed sayo and maybe try to play behind ama-defense, because nespeed se-Sundowns lapha emuva saleka kakhulu. And then I think they should engage kakhulu and fight for those balls. Guti Abu Mokwena or whoever is gonna play, whether it's Obas and Allende, bangakhona ukuthi bafide bona abo Ribeiro, bafide abo Zwane if bakhona, or Shalulile if bakhona. I think they should try and close those things. And then defense abo bangazama ukuthi ba defend the low block, bazama at least ukuthi ba push up the field, bangakhona ukuthi just like ingakhona ukuthi ibe njengoba mina ngisho ungabi neyipi ezikhulu ukuthi ikhona ukuba exploit, ikhona ukuba khawatha. And for iPirates, I think isabo singabasiza kakhulu ukuthi contain iSundowns, because for me iSundowns as a whole, Sundowns is not the quickest team but the smartest team. So I think uba quick kwabo kungabanceda ukuthi ba expose defense Sundowns and expose in the middle of the park. And then Abo Rivero, there are players who like sometimes he's a star, Rivero is star, but sometimes they play deep and try to go collect from Ahly. So I think it's over against Bona Sundowns, and it's going to help Pirates more Guti at least bakhona ukuthi badlale half the pitch side in Sundowns and by exploit ama weakness of Sundowns. But kakhulu nje iSundowns emuva mina angisizi, because iSundowns is a team whereby they always have the ball. So whenever they always have the ball, you won't even get a chance ukuthi uba expose lapha emuva. So I think iSundowns like bagelezile like ama-matriculants bayenze abo-doctor angazi
Yeah.
so abadlala emuva abomvala abokikana, they are not the quickest, they are not the sharpest, but they like quick. Abobhalotwe ubane na le Moroccan defender like abantu. So i-Sundowns going to Sundowns like njengoba ngisho ngiba-smart, i-Sundowns like they wait for the right time, especially when attacking. Like they take their time, they know like when to increase the space of a game and attack the opponents. They know when to. I remember Gugu MTN8 Sundowns like they chameleon yabo yabasebenzela, like that's why ngisho ngithi of like I'm not used to Sundowns iloke edlala ama-cross, but they can change like seconds or minutes or so during the game of a game iloke edlala. So I think abo Mokwena like ama-mastermind we-game lapha yazi ama-mastermind we-game, so they should try to stop them. But Sundowns yazi ukuthi when they have the ball like baba compact, if you have noticed them, it defense have never petty baller like there's only a 4 and 5 at the back. And then lapha middle he pack the middle ngabo. If you have noticed Upaluteri is a central midfield, but never dlala akhona he's a left back, and then basale ngokekana it's Kekana and Mvala, and then badlale ubani Mokwena in between them, makadlali in between them, uyaphezulu kakhulu azama ukuthi and then bacrowd imiddle. So izonikeza iPirates inkinga lento le if like abayibheki ukuthi bazama ukuvala lento le bangacrowd lapha emidleleni, because inkinga isuka lapho nabuzwana like kuyahlangahlangana. If you have noticed ukuthi Sundowns idlala kanjani like kuba busy, that's why they can make a lot of passes, because there's always everyone around you to pass. I understand ukuthi umnike move in and then bazokhona ukuthi bangene lapha phambili bahambe bayonipunisha. So I think it's going to be a kind of a difficult game for both of the teams. Well, yeah.
Okay. Ndlela, Ndlela, I just want to bring you in. How do you approach this game tactically from each of the two sides? Because we've seen that what has worked well versus Pirates is a low block, and Sundowns is not going to play a low block. We've seen that if you're going to manage Sundowns, you may have to bring in some sort of a low block on your side in order to make sure Sundowns doesn't damage you like that. How are these teams going to approach this? Because both teams don't play that, and both teams have similar weaknesses.
You know, Sundowns, I heard someone saying Sundowns, if no mshish, they are gonna win. If there's no mshish, they are gonna lose. Let me say something. Sundowns without mshish, they still performed to their best. So my worry in Pirates, because I saw Gucci, they rested ama players wabo amaningi nge-weekend whenever they're playing Ukev. And for Sundowns, they didn't rest ama players wabo. They went in a full squad sub and they won 4-0. So it seems like Orlando Pirates approach coming to this match, seems like ama best players wabo, including Ulipasa, Usaleni, Masongai, they were rested. So coming to this match, what I know that is a weakness Sundowns is that they leave ama spaces there. Good defense against Kaizer Chiefs. The only difference against Kaizer Chiefs is that Kaizer Chiefs they failed to exploit some spaces that were left behind by Sundowns. But for Pirates, I saw them exploring spaces left by other teams whenever they're playing against ama teams here. Good DSTV Premiership. I saw them beating Empire almost 4 goals, scoring 4 goals. So what I saw ukuthi Pirates, they are able to ukuthi back drag out laphana ku defender. They are able to drag out your defenders and open up ama spaces for Abo Maswangai and Lipasa and for Ulipasa to run through. So for Pirates yona good defense yabo, I think kokunye uSibisi I think kwesinye isikhathi that boy Munyana is gonna push more forward, I know. And that is gonna leave Umudiba that side to combine in abo Nabo Ribeiro, and also Nabo Shalulile. So for Orlando Pirates, for them to try and even think, oh, good, they are gonna win this match, they have to make sure good they don't leave, they close some spaces behind Sundowns, and they don't push for hard. They must not play. They must not play a high line against the Sundowns, because Ushaulile is always there lacking. It's always there lacking. So coming to this match, yes, like you just said, tactically they are similar, but tactically Sundowns is more advanced than the Orlando Pirates. The Orlando Pirates, they are still developing in terms of tactical. But Orlando Mokwena, tactically, it's more advanced. Orlando Mokwena, he can easily rotate, he can easily change information, like image isalogi dlala thina singabona ku 4-4-2, but Orlando Mokwena can easily change our formations there. I'm not saying Joseph Vieira doesn't do that, but in terms of a combination play, Sundowns, they have a much better advantage in terms of combination play and more understanding of how my players are. For me, defense linking up in the midfield, my midfielders linking up in attacking. So for Pirates, they do have that, maybe ngaba similar, but for them, I got to that extent that we can say, okay, now Orlando Pirates ihlangene to that point ukuthi whenever bengakhipha uMaswangayi or Ruli Pasa, there is someone to score. Because if a Pirate can bengakhipha Ulipasa, who is gonna strike it there? Because whoever agagavuthwa, and that striker for me, Cameroon agagavuthwa, and Evidence Mahopa has not played a single game. So for Sundowns, even if bangakhipha uShalulile, they still have someone to play Lapaya. Even if bangakhipha uAlende, they still have they can still bring Abu Mendy at. So for Sundowns, that's what I'm saying. Sundowns is more tactical than a Pirate, because a Pirate seems like in terms of striking, they still have Ulipasa.
Yeah.
So what will happen if Ulipasa Sundowns Yamaka and Yamkipe came in, and also Usaling? Yes, Bona, they can also bring in maybe Uloch. That's why I'm saying if a Pirate, I don't know if Uloch injured or is still the story, but this is a match for a Pirate that they really need to show up tactically. They really need to show up, like in terms of all aspects of the footballing game. Because if they don't, Sundowns is gonna bury them. Because the way Sundowns play against some teams, with Premiership and also Africa, the way they rotate the ball and also finding each other, like Sundowns baller, it kale mover before even thinking of scoring, but kale mover, defenders, midfielders, strikers, and then it's a goal. So for a Pirates, they really need to beef up defense. So they really need to beef up defense, but they should not play a back three there against Sundowns, because they are gonna suffer. Sundowns, yes, they can play a back three, because at sometimes you see Mokwena going there to defend as maybe a center back. Mokwena can easily do that. But for Pirates, they should play back four like simple, because I think this is the right time they should include Umayela, because for the past few games, Joseph Vieira has been benching Umayela. So this is the game that mentally, as a player, you need to be prepared. It's not just tactical, because of it sometimes it's gonna come at the Orlando Pirates very hard, and the Orlando Pirates, they are gonna suffer if bezolala lapha kule match. So Orlando Pirates, in terms of ball position, the Sundowns, we know with ball position, they are gonna dominate kakhulu ball position. We know they love having the ball to themselves. But for Pirates is to really try and exploit those spaces left by Sundowns, good defense, and also the Pabo Motaung. Because Motaung, we are trying to push kakhulu. I saw him against the Kaizer Chiefs and against some matches He likes going forward. So Orlando Pirates should be there trying to exploit those mistakes left by Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay, no. My brother, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to switch to the next panel. Look, my thoughts are very simple. I think Pirates and Sundowns are, like I said, similar weaknesses. But what I would say is that you don't target Sundowns by formation. You target players. And it's something that I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to use an example. It's something that I said about when they played against the Kaizer Chiefs. AB couldn't deal with Dupree. Chiefs should have created situations where AB is dragged wide a few more times, not to pray, because they'd got a yellow card. You could maybe push for a red. Same non-val, right? So now in this game, Sundowns is going to have to think about certain things, because whereas you play against Chiefs or any other PSL teams where there might be a threat, Saleng is the threat. Masangwani is the threat. I don't see Mudau pushing up as much as he did versus the Kaizer Chiefs, for example. excuse me, the big change in Pirates, I think, is going to come because people are telling me here, Undlondlo akekho. So now Pirates doesn't have their deep-lying playmaker, which might change their shape. So they might decide to go with a more solid midfield, than having what they normally have, where it was Undlondlo staying behind, Munare pushing up, everybody pushing up. And that created a weakness where if you catch them high, you can literally create a 3v2, very quickly if you can win the ball off of Undlondlo, which is something that was done. I think that's going to be where you start seeing the changes, because the best way to keep Saleng quiet is to play low block. Sundowns will not play low block, so that means that Saleng might get a chance to put one of the defenders. You only need to put one of them into trouble. So if you watch what happened against Kaizer Chiefs, Rulani preempted that Kaizer Chiefs was going to attack him on the right-hand side, and when he saw that they weren't doing it, he pushed him forward. That's not going to happen if Masangwani is that side, right? If Saleng is on the other side. So it's going to be a very interesting game. Khumuto, it's not that Ndlondlo is going to make a difference. It's that now Pirates has to essentially change how they play. You know what I mean? So they used to play 2-8s. Munare used to be support. So Ratomo and Mufukeng and Ndlondlo, Mufukeng and Munare would push up towards the wings, and Mufukeng would play with Masangwani. Then that side, Munare would take advantage of Saleng dropping back because they've got a low block, and he would be alone. So if you watch the game versus Stellenbosch took advantage of that, because when Ndlondlo was alone, they attacked him, got the ball, and that's what created their first goal that other game, and that's what created some tough situations for them because he drops back. So I say they're similar because Allende does somewhat of a similar thing with collecting the ball. Now that Ndlondlo akekho, now Rivero might be able to throw a surprise to Sundowns because they're going to have to play differently. Ndlondlo had the ball 80% of the time for Pirates. You get what I mean? Now that he's not there, we don't know who's going to come in and take over that role, number one. So maybe it's a chance for Coach Rivero to change it. Let me bring in the next panel. Let me see who was here. Napoleon, Small Credit, and Kenneth. Let me see. Kenneth. Abu Napoleon. Did you fall off there? But it's fine. Let's bring in Usipo. Okay, so Rivo, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good, and you?
I'm good. So tell me. I'm going to throw you in same time. Tell me your general thoughts about this thing. How should Pirates and Sundowns approach each other in this game?
You know what I think? I think this is probably going to be the best matches. It's going to be a decider, if you like to say. However, I think it's going to be a test for both of the coaches. More than anything, I think both teams should just focus on their gameplay, because if you're gonna say you wanna focus on Maswangani, for an example, then you're gonna have a problem, because we don't only have Maswangani, we have other people to worry about. There's Saleng to worry about. There's Mufukeng to worry about, and then we have Lodge, who's, and I'm hoping, I'm praying to see Pule as well.
Okay.
I'm just because the speed of those four players, I don't see Bomvala killing that, you know. However, it's just going to be one great day for South African football. So yeah, I just hope Pirates can take this game. Oh, this is one of the because this game it's not even about Pirates and Sundowns. It's more than that. It's about us fans as well. It's about breaking rights as well, because we've suffered. I heard somebody saying Pirates have suffered the most from Sundowns than Chiefs, which is true. So we just need the players to also understand, because it's the game tomorrow is not only going to be about the two coaches, but it's going to be also about the individuals, the players themselves. Do they understand the magnitude of the game? Do they understand what they need to do? So it's
Tell me how important with Will Ndlondlo not being there? How important Ndlondlo not being in the game be for you guys? Or to the game itself? Because you guys have been playing pretty much with Ndlondlo as your main playmaker, quote unquote, for most of these games. Now he's gone. Who comes in? Who do you think is going to come in? Who's going to control the game for you guys?
I think the person who's going to control the game for us is Thabang Monare. Like we said, they're both eights, and if you can check, most of the time those guys played together, so they understood their role. We have Lekau as well, we have Team as well, we have a couple of playmakers, and then we have Maswangani. I mean, the guy is brilliant. Maswangani is brilliant. I've watched him play while he was still playing for SuperSport. He was not playing like this. I don't know what happened to him this season, but it seems like they gave him something to kind of, But it's going to affect us in a way, but it's not going to affect us, because that's one of the reasons why we have those players that we have, to say if so-and-so is not there, then we have so-and-so.
So CBC and Koki, if they do play, and that backline is going to be facing a lot of movement from Sundowns. Are you guys ready to face that movement?
Before we go to CBC and Koki, I would like to speak about Khanye.
Okay.
Can we rest Khanye? Can we give another goalkeeper a chance? Khanye. Oh, he gives me palpitations, that guy. But CBC and Koki, I've said this before. I think those guys should be rested. Let's bring in Nda and Mthethwa.
Okay.
Because I watched Mthethwa play over the weekend, and I was impressed with how he played. Or if we don't rest both because both of them play same football. Koki and CBC play the same. So that's why they clash in most of the time, is because they play the same. So let's bring in Nda. Whatever he did, yes, it's fine. Let's bring in Nda and maybe CBC, and then if it doesn't work, let's bring in Nda and Mthethwa. I strongly believe Nda and Mthethwa would be perfect to defend Mamelodi Sundowns, because this is, remember we spoke about Patrice taking the first 10 games seriously if they honestly want to compete in the league, and they don't necessarily want to be the cup teams like we normally say that they want to focus on cups and whatever. So if they really want to be competitors in the league, they need to take the first 10 games seriously. They need to win the games and not draw the games.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think CBC and Koki, not both of them. No, it's not gonna work. If we're gonna play both of them, it's not gonna work. But we can bring in Da, and then let's have Mthethwa as well.
Okay. Smoker Solution, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Good night, boss.
No, right, bro. Can I favor?
Wait, na ke tswa Mamelodi, bra fa Mamelodi Sundowns, boss. Ke team ya go high, ha ono re nga etsama bra.
Okay, mplelle. Game between Rulani and Pirates. How do you think the team should play tactically against each other, and how should they approach each other?
Tactically, as na kamkuke when on Sundowns, you don't change anything.
Okay.
This is because of tactically, as Levagap Zamu predict how we're gonna play. We played different styles, not formations. Like how level with the first game against Chiefs, we used Maseko. You remember when we were using Maseko to attack? And then the following game, when we played against Polokwane City, they thought we were going to attack on the left. We changed. We attack. Understand? The game that we won now I was watching it. We played direct football, playing in the middle. Understand? So Sundowns, it's not a team yahore. We should focus on this and this. If Mokwena is out, we are lucky. No, if Mokwena is out, we are having other people. Shangri-La was out. We were not worried. Understand? So what I like is hore Pirate. They are even telling us hore who are their weakest and their strongest. How can level? If Lepasa is out, what's gonna happen? Well, the last time Nago Pirate Reja 3-0, we didn't know so much about Saleng. After that 3-0, what happened? We knew Saleng. What do they do? Understand? So for now, our tactics, it will still be the same position. And so hore. If Sundowns within 25 minutes, they don't complete 250 touches, that is the net assist Sundowns here need, and that's what's going to happen. 25 minutes, 225 touches, 4 shots on target, bona.
So then tell me, Kia Pirates and in as much as we speak about Saleng and all of that stuff, playing the way you've been playing normally, I don't think it'll be Bereka this game, because you can't leave back 3 or back 2 when you guys are attacking, because Pirates, they've got Saleng, Lipasa not so much, but they've got some pace that can hurt you. How do you counteract that? Sala, do you play a bit more defensively? What do you do in that case?
If you check, Brava Mene, when we lost against Pirate, they got 3-0 to Ila. Neredala Motaung, you remember Motaung on the right, and then Mudiba on the left. Then the game is a our coach was more tactical. If you remember properly, Obele Motaung on the right, and then he put Morena on the left. Do you remember that game? Yeah. And then what he did against Kaizer Chiefs, how can I level up? Motaung, so Allah, their striker, that one likes to run too much, and the rest we'll see. Yeah, with the one that we're going to play tomorrow, we're just going to close those 2 players they like to talk about, and then we play our football. And sometimes we like to play ball mumping, so that if we lose the ball, it's easy to press them. And Pirate, if you press them, they make mistakes. They make mistakes. Okay, level. And I like what you said about the previous game. 2 games, he was holding the ball. He tried to do something by Lokora. You remember that game? Center back, it's a Pirate. They are not comfortable on the ball. So Sundowns, they wouldn't change their play. We will find those pocket passes, and when we find those pocket passes, chances. Are
you afraid at all about the number of fouls that you guys concede in a game? You can't defend a foul, if that makes sense. When you go on a counter, usually it ends up in a foul. Are you scared at all about that? Because they bomb 20-25 fouls.
As fouls, my brown are tactical fouls. So now the fouls they will cost us at the end. Like the one we played semi-final, you see that foul here cost So somehow we must make those files, because if you find out Saleng is having the ball and it's 4 against 3, that's when you have to make a foul. But other than that, it's not a major thing. If it's a tactical foul, we'll accept it. But other than that, let's focus. The referee tomorrow, if they must choose the perfect referees for this match, please. Because we don't want to see something else.
No, thank you, Brother May. Mr. Kenneth, how are you doing?
Brad, who are you?
No, Kishapo, Praken. Listen, Praken, tell me, in your thoughts, how should the teams go for each other tomorrow, and how should they approach the game against each other tomorrow?
You know, it's unfortunate that we are having a game tomorrow before both teams are going to play critical matches over the weekend. So I feel like that both teams will be too cautious and they will respect each other so much. So for Sundowns, it will be more like training meaning, or they will be doing those space passing, trying to make you run around them. And if Pirates give Sundowns that respect, then they will get tired. But in terms of Pirates approaching this game, ilibeletse mabitso, they will suffer because Sundowns is no longer just a football team. Sundowns is a system whereby whoever is on that starting 11 delivers. So Sundowns South Africa or Mutungari utsentetswe just to 11 in the field. But all I'm seeing tomorrow, it will be a low scoring game. Okay. Because both teams have very key matches over the weekend. I won't be surprised if it can end up with a draw. But for Pirates to win, yes, utilizing that speed will help them a lot. But the only problem is, will they afford to play those fast players for both tomorrow and Saturday, having seen that they didn't start running over the weekend and took a beating and get beaten. So tomorrow's game for the coach, it's really, really critical, and it might cost Rivero his position should he not win, because of why would you run players who are supposed to be getting game time? I also watched Sundowns playing of Kokev. They were playing differently from how you know Sundowns. So we are going to see great football, carpet football as always. And yeah, I just hope we all enjoy the football tomorrow. Like my coach, my ex-coach used to say, we don't need to beat Chiefs to win the league. Am I concerned about tomorrow? Should Sundowns lose? Not at all, because this is the best start Sundowns have ever had. If you are to go back looking at how Sundowns start their league matches, usually we'll start with those losses, a draw there and there, but more than anything else, we were set. Now I'm so looking forward to the weekend game, other than tomorrow.
Okay. Prasipo, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Yeah, Mnumzane.
No, right. Ntele, how should these two teams approach each other? Kule game ya kusasa.
Awuthi ngibekisela yayibona lapha eEngland yazi team ebathi iLiverpool neMan City. You know ukuthi iLiverpool always noma ngathi ingadliwa 5 bani kodwa uma ifika kuMan City ifike iwine kuMan City or badraw neMan City. Man City ayilula ukuthi ishaye iLiverpool. Same applies neTottenham to Man City. Yayibona lezo iskandal lezo. Lawo maskandal esingahle siwabone kusasa kanjani. You see ilokhuzana iSundowns inale tendency ukuthi thina sihlulwa yiChiefs noma iChiefs esithwalisa umzema as usual. But when they go to Orlando Pirates, they know they will be walking on a park. Kusasa it cannot happen that ukuthi bawope on the park. Reason being, iPirate manje isenabadlali abathi abafana nabeChiefs phambili. Bane-speed, bayadebula, yabona. So lokho kuzowenza ukuthi iSundowns ingakhona uku-operate free. Futhi-ke iPirate ayisabi iSundowns. Mina bengithi ilokhuzana noma iSundowns ingawina kanjani iPirate, but always iPirate iza nalomqondo ukuthi asisab Sundowns zoyishaya. So that if they can come with that mentality tomorrow, I'm telling you, my brother, they can win the game. One, if you want to beat Sundowns, don't give them a chance on first half. Tire them.
Yeah.
Benze bakhathale, make them tired, bakhathale, basangane ingqondo. Uzobona second half bazobuya bafaka abadlali abaningi abadlala both defensive and attacking mid, especially ma-mid. Bazowenza uma kubhede abakwazi ukubuya bonke bapakupasi. Uma ngathi izinto ziyaqonda bakwazi ukuya phambili bashaya igoli. So Pirates, they need to do a simple thing. Ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi ba-attack from the first whistle. If bangazama kanjalo and basebenzise le speed sabo abasebenzayo, omvala noKhoza naleyo mndiya lo amanzi amancane, they can beat them. Bangabashaya impela nje, but if bona bazoya ngolomqondo ukuthi Sundowns sinayibhayizeli bayisabe, once Sundowns wayinikeza opportunity ukuthi kubone ukuthi uyayisaba uzokugcoba vele. Same apply ne-Pirates yabo. Now mina bengizothi ever i-Sundowns ifuna ukushaya i-Pirates ingabanikeza space sokuthi bakwazi ukwenza lama runs wabo abahlezi bawenza uMasangwayi ubani lo mfana omncane lo usaleng naloku mfishane silwane loya mfana yabona futhi nabangafaka yena first half bazokwazi ukuthi kodwa-ke into engiyinothisile usaleng nolepasa combination yabo sengakahlangani kahle so okunye lokho kungabanikeza inkinga yabo kanti bayodlala ne-team ehlangene from ebhentshini till to goalkeeper yabo. Angikhulumi-ke nge-defense Sundowns. Defense Sundowns futhi ayinanex. Sundowns ayina defense. Ine-middle attacking but i-defense ayinayo. So i-Pirates idinga ukuthi ba-strategize ukuthi bazoyibamba kanjani and ba-attack kanjani. If ever they decide to do ama-counters, bane-speed that can work for them, they just go for counters. One mistake Sundowns eyenzayo, then they do count. I'm telling you, bangavuka ne-goal or 2 or 3. Uyabona? Kodwa-ke ngiyakhala ngoCoki wabo. Basoku uzobafaka ehlathini uCoki because Sundowns iyakwenza nakuthi wenza amaphutha. Yilowo nje futhi.
Okay. Thank you, Prasipo. Abuti Napoleon, Lekau abuti.
Ngithenga abuti.
Hayi ke right abuti ke mo le dlala le Sundowns osane. How should the two teams approach this game?
Dumelang ko paneling. Now the way ke bona ka tene it's gonna be it's a big game. I hear everyone who work out here Sundowns is tomorrow's gonna be training. Sundowns is also go Shapa Chiefs. It's already quality players, Komphela at all.
Yeah.
Why don't everyone go that game? They can play better go Cape, they can play better go team training, but feel low Shapa Chiefs. And Patrice has been watching them. As much as Rulani despise each and every team anyway, on despise the Shabalala. That's why when I know Sundowns we know such things. When I Lumshongo was Sundowns. So Tataxa Lumshong. I got no China mark. Abuti sipona le ntwa e Sundowns defense I hear you. It's not there. Mutaung ka di fouls. O tlo gona o matha le our pacey wingers le AB kada la AB ba sa mkenyi ba kenya Mashego ba kenya Modiba. We know those guys over dlala jwang. Those two kada. I understand. Sundowns, it's very slow. Without Zwane, there's no Sundowns. But batla Kenya nku e replace la Kamla. If we lo dlala ka Chiefs, he can the pass down. O blind that boy, but he doesn't have that caliber. Yeah, Mduduzi wabo na Zwane. Without Zwane, there's no Sundowns. Alende, Rivero. That's the only guy now can have a problem tomorrow. Yeah, he's the only guy. Mokwena. Liana says, Abu 20 fouls. That guy doesn't play his soccer anymore. Kikupa Umushebe like game Chiefs, game Paris, game Chiefs. Okapan Tindi, Habun Surakapa Marawaka, Asa Dala Poliana, Dala Super Sport, Haneba Moreka. He's full of the fouls, that guy. And we have those players that how the Lala, how the Kappa, you're gonna get a cut. And I'm scared come down. Coming to Paris, come round. I was Khoza willing need to have work China. That guy of fit. Hey. Yeah, my long range, I'm fine, lawyer.
Yeah.
Then now we are gonna give those guys a chance. Give those guys a chance. Take chances like Sundowns. It's not like Rulani. Rulani, he's taking chances. o santsana kopantsha go di-chance side ya spana na mang o kgona go jale ma wa le gona re sa kenye evidence ke makgopa da ko pele.
Yeah.
Everyone nka re tle re shebile saleng le pass. We have many players. Re teng bo Mfokeng ba teng bo Baloyi. We have many players bo Kaping. As don't feel like coach on as ka tla ka same scheme, as ka tla ka same pattern. I'm telling you, it's gonna be pound to pound because midfielder Sundowns.
Kenya Manko Center ka obane ha re bua ka midfield ya yona ne dlala ka Ndondlo higher, apparently higher for San.
Sure.
So
No.
Kenya Man.
Okay. No, akere Makaula o teng, Timi o teng, Monaro teng ene batho ba kaofela ba dlala ntwe ba dlala defensive ha o ka shebisisa. Ke bona ba maka di-careless mistakes da ko mpeng ya rona. But o teng Lodge if ba tla mo kenya. O tladisa o teng. You can pick up that o tladisa nanga ba ka tla ka ena go spaces sa Sandgol. Then Makaula or Monare ba tla kgona mo market. O tladisa can play. In the middle he can change are you winning. Nna ke la fela ka Mdao wa bona Mdao le Mvala o ke mang ya Mvala le Mdao le AB le Mashego. If AB ba sa nke ba tlo kenya Mashego kada o ba tlo kenya Modiba.
Okay.
Yeah, so now I'm ready for Sundowns. I'm ready as long as coach waka a tlo be ya sipo China mo fat. Yo, bafethu. Uyu umuntu osilisa ke loyo.
No, ngiyavisa
Faka umndaba bafethu emuva faka umthetho. Faka nabanye abantu because Tloki li species not make sure. But like the kidi hard tackle and the players are Sundowns kidi take attack. One mistake wa robala ona it's a penalty or it's a foul. Then they cross they score. Yeah.
Okay. I'd just like to just jump in. Thank you to Sarani for subscribing. Thank you so much for subscribing. Rivo, I want to come back to you. Can you tell me how important it is that this game is at Orlando Stadium? Orlando Stadium, Scotini, has been a place where you guys have enjoyed such a great time. You know that if Paris takes a lead, everything comes to life and the players want to score even more goals and all of that. Do you think that Orlando will play a role in this game?
I definitely think Orlando will play a role. I mean, nobody comes alive from Escotini Samaminzela, Joe. It's a great place to be. I think the players also are comfortable playing at home because of the environment. However, there's always controversy when we play against Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns supporters tend to be very aggressive. I'm not sure if aggressive is the right word, but the previous match, when we played against them at Orlando, they wanted to be at our center line and a whole lot of things. So they want to kind of dominate and so I'm just hoping tomorrow they don't come with that cock attitude. Then otherwise it's a very, 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 very good environment to be in. We're gonna be dancing, we're gonna be singing. The confidence, man. I think the confidence. Also, there's just, it's easy to get into that stadium. Remember the last time we were speaking about stadiums and what. So yeah, it's easy to get there and just be comfortable. We are comfortable there. It's home for us.
Do you think that I know everybody's saying that Pirates they say teams mustn't go pound for pound with Sundowns. But now playing at Orlando, Pella, because you guys have that pride, do you think that it might just create a situation where Pirates is coming out to attack?
Definitely, most definitely, especially with us being behind the boys, that is 100% possible. Yes, there's no slow ball played at Orlando. If you've been to Orlando games, you know once they have the ball, then we give them once they get there, then we're done. Then we're done. Yeah.
Okay. No, I just wanted to.
So tomorrow is just going to be one of those games where I heard somebody saying they know Saleng and they know how Saleng plays and all that, but we don't only have Saleng. And the nice part is we also got somebody who's got a point to prove for them, who might also get a chance tomorrow to say, okay, you let me go. This is what I can do for you. So let's see, given an opportunity, let's see if the guy uses the opportunity, if he's given the opportunity. It's just going to be a game of surprise. Tomorrow they're going to be surprised. I'm telling you.
Hey, Mr. Ken, will Orlando play a significant role in tomorrow's game? Because in as much as people are saying don't go pound for pound, and maybe the conventional thought when you're playing Sundowns is to say, "Hi guys, defendani, don't attack, don't do whatever." But because it's Orlando and Pirates are playing Escotini, they're going to want to attack, they're going to want to play. How important is Orlando Stadium going to be in this? And from a Sundowns perspective, can that hurt Pirates if they come out too hot?
Look, I have bad memories about Orlando. Matches where a goal will be scored when I'm just walking into the stadium, and that will be the only goal for the game, and sometimes match, regardless of how we play.
Yeah.
But so I am saying Escodini have its own magic.
Okay.
When it's full, that crowd brings Pirates alive. But Sundowns is one team which it's not that we don't play under pressure because of the crowd, whether they're booing or they're cheering their team. Sundowns keeps maintaining the ball. So yes, it will play an important role. Here is Pirates must do to win tomorrow. They must score first. Yeah. If they score us first, chances are we will see so many goals.
Okay.
Otherwise, it will be that hit and run type of a game where the pressure somehow will pay off. And yes, I concur with people who are saying Sundowns commit a lot of fouls, and many of them, when you look at those fouls, are those whereby it's a player who was just out of position, and should we don't commit that foul, we might be in danger. So we must avoid getting those silly yellow cards, which might result in a red card. But I was looking at the log, and interestingly, I'm listening to Napoleon saying Sundowns defense is weak and all that. You speak about a defense that have played 6 matches. They've only considered 2 goals. The team on its own have scored 13 goals, the most team that have scored so many goals in the league. And you're still coming here with such disrespect to say our back four. It's very, in fact, sometimes you end up not knowing who's playing defense on Sundowns. Like I said, it's a system. Seems like they all know if this one moved to this position, this one must go cover. The only person who I am worried about tomorrow is Williams. He tend to forget himself. He tend to be too comfortable, and if the team is not attacking us, he relaxes too much. So we might need to change the keeper tomorrow, not because the current one is doing anything. No, just for tomorrow, Nje, to give him a break and watch the match. But yeah, if we scored first, unfortunately, we will score so many goals as well. Shalule is back. I saw him in Africa.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. Like I said, tomorrow's game for me can go either way. I am truly comfortable with any results. For the fact that we are chasing the record, I would like Sundowns to maintain that. But should they get beaten, I wouldn't be scared that we will lose over the weekend. Weekend game. Somebody was saying Sundowns battle to score against Chiefs. Yes, we don't practice with 9 men in front of us. Chiefs will pack the bus and it was 9-1.
Kenneth.
Hi, man. I see the shot there.
Kenneth.
Let me bring in the Sipo. Sipo. Escotini, we know Guti. Yakwari Escotini. We know that Pirates plays well when they go there. We know Guti, if Barakwari called, they're gonna be up and they're going to be playing hard. Can that hurt the Pirates? That thing Guti Bashista too much. Has it to be too excited about a game within Orlando Stadium? Or will it help them beat the Sundowns because they might be forced to go pound for pound and Sundowns might not be able to take it? How do you think Orlando Stadium is going to affect this game?
But let me put it this. Tomorrow in Pirate, it must protect its Tunzasal. So playing at home, playing historical stadium, Sabo, and two, playing against Sundowns. This game is about breaking rights. One, let's forget about the points and who's number one, who's number two, but it's about the breaking rights. Ngimdala kule game and akumele uqhanase as you please.
Yeah.
You see. So this that means ukuthi iPirate when they play against Sundowns kumele abadlali they must motivate themselves ukuthi we're playing at home. So since we're playing at home kwamele senze sure ukuthi we protect isithunzi sala ekhaya. If they don't do that, that means Sundowns will come out and telling everyone that nobody can touch us. So they must make sure that it doesn't come to the point where Sundowns score. Because once Sundowns score first, then the game is over. They will come for another one. They will come and come and come and come. So, and same applies to Pirate. Once Pirate ya scorer, the problem it can be Uti is over too excited to just shy goal. Then if we go thola manye more and forgetting Guti emuva mhlambe kanjani, unless bane plan a solid ukuthi we can go pound for pound for them with them, but singakhohlwa ukuthi emuva they can come and hurt us very bad because oshalwile bakhona singabakhohlwa uzwani ukhona singamkhohlwa lo alende inkinga lo mfana singamkhohlwa. So those people they know ukuthi okay even if noma ngathiwa sibuye emuva but very fast sibaku 18 and they can hurt you very very bad. So it's very much important for Orlando Pirates ukuthi kusasa yazi ukuthi if we go pound for pound kwamele sazi ukuthi emuva si protected kangakanani. Mina how I so wish ukuthi they can give this guy uMakauli a chance. Ubani lo Miguel team, you see Miguel team no Lokhuzane no Ndlolo, those guys they can do wonders laphana eswing, very very great, but asazi ucoach to play only wish is ukuthi they can retain dignity yabo and protect ama-fans home ground yabo ukuthi bangahlekwa bangabi ihlazo on a home ground. So bathi nama-team of stars, so let's see who's whose star is shining brighter than the other ones. I don't know which is because so we're gonna see which star that shines brighter than any other one. But yeah, my brother, I will say Pirate, if they decide to go pound for Sundowns, they must know that banayo plan yokuthi ingaba hunty back le nto inga backfire. And same applies the Sundowns ukuthi ingezi ngomqondo ukuthi thina we always beat Pirate, we're still gonna do it because esakubona nge-MTN last season, so we can still beat tomorrow.
Okay. Abut Napoleon.
Abuti.
Scotty Sitori, on the one hand, it's great to have a stadium, a smelling atmosphere that pushes the teams to win. You know, it's great to go there, but is it something that Sundowns can exploit if are too excited to Pirates, or is it something that can bury Sundowns if Pirates get too excited also.
Now, I don't think Sundowns will exploit Pirates. It's my opinion. We have supporters. It's at home. Now we must win in order our coach or then Ahono settle it down. Khoza tlolo maratsa ka Sundowns. As we speak, ki defense ke rona, ki di dading kai babu.
Yeah.
As le rona as defense, rona right now. I want to compete jwang ko comment section. Yo ban ye o tsebe he le kaosane. On right now, the team is on a DT, the player. So we need to just to close off Rulani, the speeches are high, the demand games are high. Understand? Because Rehono is achieving to be easy. Choose a win on Sunday, it doesn't. I as in say Orlando, artists asambeni abantu basephefeni sene esontweni rejana mont siyo sonta nsonke so ntendeleyo into right ke lebizwenzi kule weekend amabhakane yonke ayazi ukuthi kule viki leli hayi we can speak about Sundowns here this day Sundowns ihlelo shapa chizi santsane kopana on a high game on a big stadium le bona ba phapa ba le ko Moroka kwa batla ka dikupu ba shapa ba rasa ka lebaka la Kaizer Chiefs. We'll just have to sing that song. They will sing it now, Saturday or Sunday. We'll just have to see from Saturday till Sunday. I love football because football like Oscar ka pilo e ka ngondo we understand the way right. You don't have to swear, you don't have to over snacks, just be human in we are at the ball. But it's gonna be a great game tomorrow. Okay. Whether Ndlondo uting hayo nice so my coaching jenga akangenza Kapinga. Kapinga knows those guys. He knows one or weta in. So I just change our coach. I feel Kapinga, I feel Makaula a chance.
Okay.
I change le komrao. Otherwise, kimnati na. Ma chai ne ba fit. Ngamani zolanda mina la nang ready ngamnye kiti la. Nekit ba fit. What you pega na mo cox. Nzofimba kangcono la.
Let me go back to River. Can you give me your closing statement and your score prediction?
Okay. More than anything, I think also this is just not fair, guys. This is just to you guys out there, Basapotangbo, Amazulu, and other teams. I don't want to mention names. It's not fair, guys, that we have to fight for you guys all the time. You guys should take your careers seriously. Players who play for other teams as well, for both Stellenbosch and others, please. Let's take our careers seriously and let's fight. Let's fight Mamelodi Sundowns, all of us, not only Pirates, guys. Let's try, all of us. But yeah, honestly speaking, I love it because tomorrow apparently is going to be all 15 teams against the Mamelodi Sundowns. So everybody is like, we're going to be glued. Some of us are just going to walk to the stadium and see Pep and all he can do. But me knowing him, I know he prefers to lose to Pirates than the other team. So I mustn't come with excuses. Tomorrow we want to play serious football. And yeah, my score prediction for tomorrow is 2-1. Pirates is going to win 2-1.
Hey. Okay. Mr. Kenneth, quick closing statement and give me your score prediction.
Kajeku hujiwa watu, kajeku hujiwa kalima kalama Kaizer Chiefs. Bra. Wabona kasa vile. Simple, short and sweet. Why not favor Sundowns and Saturday on top of you? Saturday pila kinyaka draw ya not kinyaka Chiefs itswe mara Sundowns haya reja.
But no work I on like a Friday.
No. So Pasali, why not Sundown?
Prasipo, uskosa kostid.
Hayi baba, okunye-ke before ngisho iscore, uyazi ukuthi i-Sundowns ingasurprise vele. Bonke labadlali isipirate ebasaba ingabafaki.
Yeah.
Ibabekele for Saturday game because iyazi ukuthi Saturday we're gonna come with gun blazing. So angazi kuzokwenzakalani. But ngiyamuzwa uKenneth ukuthi Saturday ufuna i-draw. Lalela baba, Saturday ngiphe kwawo ngizokushaya sure. Showcase beat i-Sundowns. Okay.
Saturday sizoyibona Saturday. Maskhuluma Alexander.
Iscore sakusasa it will be 2-1 either way. 2-1 nje. Whoever uzowina nge-2-1.
Mara ngifuna ukuthi you must treat this like a bet way. Which one are you going with? Head on the block.
Let me go with Pirates this time.
Oh, 2-1 Pirates.
Yeah, 2-1 Pirates.
Inhliziyo inhloko evotile lapho.
Ngangiboni baba. Put me on a corner now. You know, Inhliziyo will never do that. Yeah, unjalo.
Abut Napoleon, usansa nurutsi kothunile how?
Namfethu ushabathi kasa, namfele sihlonipha iSundowns. Hayi akunakuhlonipha iSundowns, bafile laba bantu laba. Bafile laba, nabantu basendukwini. Nalo Rulani wabama-mind games. Akabafake labo umdiba wabo la esiswini afake wonke umuntu. Angithi yena uthanda ukufaka noma ubani defense echeckisa ayenza istrike akabafake kule exercise uzobona. Ubani ozomapha songani. Kuthiwa iSundowns is the best. Iyawina iSundowns. Ubani ozomaka lama speedy players enginawo mina. Ngoba mina nginawo abafana bamakayo. Ubani ozomaka? Uzwana uyamaka. Uzwana kamaka uyakapha. Ufana nalo mfana uTebulo. Bakapha. Lemdawo. Wona those three. Unale ntwana empi edlala ndako umrawo da. Baba mphetha i-dragon. Ke mvala o tla ntsha mollo ka usane. Aba ikenye linku ya bona ye. Besla ka usane. Lapha sidinyama ekhanda la. Kuyazi awusirivowazi asidlali la. Lapha kuse-Orlando la. Akusibona emkhukhwini le-Tempisa le-Classic. Or le Marabastad. Akusukuse Marabastad na. Pembo umuntu kusasa. Space one.
Okay. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you to the panels. Thank you guys for the support in the comments. Thank you Sarani for subscribing. Thank you to Malume Kutso PK for the gifts as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If I can say my closing statement is that I think what tends to happen with matches like tomorrow is that they usually end carry draw. When two very good teams play together and they play each other, they usually don't give us end-to-end stuff. I think when I'm thinking about the game, the interesting parts of the game are that Pirates and Sundowns are two teams that don't park the bus. Pirates and Sundowns are two teams that the defenses can be questioned. Of course, Sundowns' defense is a lot better by record, but their defenses can be questioned. So it's going to be interesting to see how they play this game. I've always said that the one thing about Sundowns is when you play versus Sundowns and Sundowns plays versus certain teams, very rarely in the PSL do they have to think about teams that can hurt them. It's very rare that a team comes in and can hurt them. And Pirates is one of the teams where, in the back of your mind, no matter how good you play, you still have to think about Masangwani, you still have to think about Saleng, you still have to think about Ulepasa, in as much as you are very good going forward. So that's going to be the interesting part, I believe. Because, again, Sundowns fouls a lot. So if Saleng or Masangwani can take advantage of that with the guys and put them into some tough spots, you may change directions. But on the other end, If you push up Masangwani, if you push up Usaleng, if you push up Ulepasa, if you push up Minare, if he's on the pitch, if you push up Mfukeng, if he's also on the pitch, there's a chance that on the other side, Sundowns' movement, I don't know how well Kokis, BC, Shandu, whoever's going to play on the other side, I don't know how well they're going to deal with the movement from Sundowns, because Sundowns kills teams with movement. And Shalulila's back, so they have a focal point for their attack. They have a person who's going to be in front. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams deal with each other, because this is well and truly a match where you have two teams that have attacking threat on both sides. And then you have, if you want to add something, you now go over to Orlando. Pirates has a record to protect at Orlando. Pirates has been winning very well at Orlando. Pirates, even in the games that they've played very badly, they've won. So now, will the crowd influence this game? Because Pirates might want to go full out on Sundowns, and it may be a blessing or it may be a curse. You may go out versus Sundowns and beat them 3-0, or you get beaten by 2-0 because you've left spaces. So it's going to be very interesting to watch, man, that match. And see how that's going to play out. But in any case, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for the new followers. If you haven't followed, please follow while you still can. I do this every Monday to Friday, 12:30 in the afternoon. Monday to Wednesday at 8 p.m. Follow the TikTok account, follow the Facebook account, subscribe to YouTube. All of these things, all of these shows that we've had and the panels and the discussions we've had, not just about matches, but about very cool stuff. Last night we had an agent, Usboniso Ngubane, on the show to explain to us some stuff. You can find that on Facebook, you can find that on YouTube, as well as some other really cool content that's there. I will do watch-alongs of the matches. Tomorrow's going to be interesting because Chiefs and SuperSport is going to be playing at the same time. So we'll simultaneously somehow do it together. I'll figure it out. But we do watch-alongs of these matches too. Thank you so much for joining me one more time. Thank you for all of the comments. There were just too many, man. Rivo, thank you for the gifts on the TikTok side. But yeah, guys, I'll see you then, guys. Tonight, 8 o'clock. We'll have another show, a new panel, some other really cool discussions. Thank you so much for joining me. Ketalebona. Yes, Chiefs is playing tomorrow. We're going to speak about it at some point too.